Welcome to the Jet Set Marketing webinar that we're doing right here today. This is going to be a very, very special webinar. Now, keep in mind, the title of this webinar coaching that we're doing today is called Shotgun Recruiting. And I want to just kind of take a moment, if I could, and identify exactly what type of coaching session this is. This coaching session that you're experiencing right now today is going to be one for those individuals that want to make serious life-changing income. Now, the reason I make that differentiation is because some people come in to work part-time to earn a part-time income and just supplement what they already have coming in. Some people come in and they want to earn serious income, maybe to replace a salary or bring home a spouse or just start working from home. And then there are some of those people that want to work very hard for a short period of time, but in that process, create life-changing, obscene income that lasts for generations. Well, this particular coaching session is going to be for those people that want to step on the gas and put it into another gear. Now, the great thing about what you're about to learn, folks, is you don't have to do this activity that you're going to learn today for 10 years, 15 years, 5 years. This is the kind of activity that you do really hard for 90 days. For those that want to make substantial more income, perhaps 12 months. For those that want to seal their fate and have absolutely life-changing income that lives on through generations, we suggest 18 months of shotgun recruiting, massive action to produce massive results. So that's the coaching you're going to get today. So it's not for everybody. It is for those people who have planted their flags in the sand saying, I want to be the big income earner. Okay, so we're going to start this coaching session welcoming each and every one of you who've identified yourself as those individuals that want to earn that type of income. Now, as we begin this coaching session, I want to encourage you to take notes down because the notes you're going to be taking are going to be substantial. Now, we're talking about shotgun recruiting. Now, let me tell you why it's entitled shotgun recruiting. As you know, when you put a bullet into a gun and you shoot, one bullet comes out. But when you put a shotgun shell into a shotgun and shoot, it shoots out massive little BBs and pellets or buckshot or whatever. In other words, it comes out all at the same time. So many times people will ask me, well, should I do this or should I do that or should I do this? And the answer is yes, you should do it all at the exact same time. And we're going to be talking about how to explode your business in 3 markets simultaneously and to have other people calling you looking for what you have, how to do and construct this activity on a daily basis. That's why it's entitled Shotgun Recruiting. So let's go ahead and begin, folks. How do you get 30 exposures each and every day? Now, the reason we choose 30 exposures is because this is going to make sure that it doesn't really matter about anything but the process. You'll see what I mean in just a moment. See, by hitting that many exposures every day that you're working, then you start to tap into a law that we call the law of high numbers, working in conjunction with the law of averages. What this means is if you do an awful lot of a specific activity, all of a sudden, a ratio will appear. So the more that you do it, the more results that you get. The more massive actions you do, the more results you'll get. That's what I mean by the law of high numbers, working in conjunction with the law of averages. So in this particular part, I want to make sure that you understand, don't worry whether you get a yes, whether you get a no, or whether you get a maybe. By the way, there's only 3 answers that you're going to get when you pique people's interest. Is yes, they're interested, no, not at this time, or maybe. Okay, so I don't want you to focus on the result of yes, no, or maybe at this point. I just want you to focus on the process, on the procedure. It's very important that you spread the good news. You really get your message out there, the massive exposure. And you've heard me say before, I'm going to say it again. Have you ever heard the antidote? Tell me yes, tell me no, tell me quick, I gotta go. The key is tell me yes, tell me no, tell me quick, I gotta go talk to somebody else. So you're focusing more on the activity, more on the process. Now, keep in mind, we're going to be utilizing 3 separate markets all at the same time. We're going to be tapping into the warm market, tapping into your cold market, and tapping into referral market. This is the definition of what shotgun recruiting is. And I've learned this from a $300,000 per month earner named Mark Yarnell. So let me just say, no matter where you are in your current growth of your team, maybe you're just now getting started and it's time to establish your team and you know you want to run fast. Maybe you already have a team, but you are ready to go to the next level. Now, it doesn't matter how big your existing team is. What's important for you to really understand and digest is you're going to have to refresh your group. You're going to have a new group of people that you're working with in addition to the group of people that you're currently helping right now. You see, a rookie will think, I just got to get more out of the same small group that I have. That's not true. What you need is another group in addition to the group you have now, and then another group after that. So we're going to be talking about how to refresh your team, how to get that new group. Because once you realize what the 1/3 rule is, then you'll realize that 1/3 of your team, no matter what you do, is going to quit. That's just the way it is. Every business has turnover, including yours. It's not your fault. It's not the company's fault. It's not the product's fault. It's just business 101. Every business has turnover, okay? 1/3 of your team is going to incubate. That means they're going to sit there and wait for their time to come. They're going to use the product. They're going to stay on the calls, get on the webinars, take their notes, and they're waiting to really starting to explode, okay? And then 1/3 of who you bring in are going to be big builders. These are the people that are going to be at the very, very top of the company. So in order to get more of the 1/3 that build real strong, those big builders, you don't just keep beating up the people that are sitting there incubating. You go out and get another group. You personally sponsor a new group of CEOs. You personally go out and work into your team builder network and hit another 7 new platinums to crack the $1,000 bonus. You're going to go ahead and become regional all over again. That's $5,000 bonuses, $15,000 bonuses to become a national. And folks, you're going to hit director all over again. So what happens when you become a first level director? You want to become next level director? You don't just keep pounding and pounding the same people. No. You go back and do it all over again. Now you're at a new level, and then do it again and again. Folks, by learning this technique that we're teaching, there's no limit to how high you and the success of your group can go. So let's talk about how to take that massive action, that massive exposure. You're going to have to get into a state of mind that you are in action mode. You are in massive exposure mode, and that's how you'll be conducting yourself. Now, I want you to understand, don't get so tied up into exactly what words you say when you're exposing. Exactly. That's not what's most important. You have to understand, they did a survey many, many years ago that said even the worst exposure line ever works 1 out of 30 times. See, they did a survey where they knocked on doors, door to door, selling life insurance. And when someone came to the door, what the person said is, you don't want any life insurance, do you? The worst line ever. And 1 out of 30 times, someone said, you know, we were just talking about we might need that. So here's why we teach 30 exposures a day. Doesn't matter how good you are. Doesn't matter what you say. Tell me yes, tell me no, tell me quick. I've got to go. And by doing 30 exposures a day, working once out of 30, you can just see how many exposures that is per week. Working once out of 30, you can see how many new team members per week you're personally enrolling. And you can just do the math. Remember, the law of high numbers working in conjunction with the law of averages. If you do massive activity, you're going to produce a ratio of results. The great thing is the more of the massive activity you do, the higher the ratio of positive results becomes. Folks, this is a law and works every single time. So I want you to suspend the pressure on yourself. Learn to discipline your disappointments. If someone says no, or I'm not right sure, that's okay. Ask for a referral and keep on going. Tell me yes, tell me no, tell me quick. I've got to go talk to somebody else. So we're in the massive exposure frame of mind. Now it's time to specifically talk about where the most results come from, and that's going to be your warm market. Now, your warm market is defined as people that you already know. People that you knew when you woke up this morning and placed your feet on the floor to rise up out of bed. These are the people you've already known in your life. I call it pockets of people. People that you grew up with, you work with, family, friends, colleagues, people at former employers that you used to work with, people at church, people at activities, people that you've known through the journey of your life, people that you give your business to, who does your hair, who cleans your pool, who's your car insurance, who cleans your teeth, who's your dentist, who's your doctor. See, these are people that you give your business to. Certainly, they should be willing to look at your overview to see if them or somebody they know this might be a fit for. So as you begin to work in your warm market, folks, it's important that you begin to build a big list. Now, by building a big list, of course, we want you to look into your phone and get the contacts that you already have. But we also want you to use a memory jogger to help remind you of those people that perhaps you have forgotten that you did know. Now, as you begin to build your list and work in your calendar, you're going to make sure that every single day that you're working your business, you're going to be contacting and piquing the interest from your warm market of 10 brand new people. Not the same folks you've been talking to 4 days ago. You're going to be following up, yes, but you want to pique the interest of 10 new people from the list that you've built. This is in your warm market now. Now, what I've done here is I've put some of the things that I say in my comfort phrase when I'm piquing people's interest. I may call somebody on the phone and say, hey, this is James. Do you happen to have a couple minutes? I want to ask you a few things. Yeah, what's going on, man? I say, if you had an extra $500 per week, would it mean something to you? And most people say, well, sure it will. Say, listen, I'd love to be a blessing to you. I've run across some information that truly could help you or maybe somebody that you might know. Why don't you grab a pen and write some things down? And I give them the address of where they can go see the overview in about 20 minutes. And I let them know I've run across something that really can enhance your income right away and could lead to some very serious income. And I point them to the information and I make an appointment to check back with them. Now, this is how you pique the interest of 10 brand new people from your warm market. Now, out of those 10 that you're calling, you really may only contact or reach 4 or 5 out of those 10. Some may go to voicemail, you leave a message. By the way, the message that I leave every single time that I call somebody to pique their interest to see if they themselves or someone they know is maybe interested in what I have, I always leave the message and tell them, this is James. Hey, please give me a call back. I've got some great news for you. Everybody likes to hear good news, okay? So out of the 4 or 5 that you do contact, the others you leave a message for, 2 or 3 you're going to send the 4 or 5 to view the message. Only 2 or 3 of them are actually going to go take a look. And of that 2 or 3, you'll probably only bring in 1 or 2. But put the people that you didn't reach onto your calendar to remind you to follow up with them in the next day's call. So as you're calling your next new 10 people, you're also following up with the folks that you left a message with. Okay, so this activity you're doing each and every day, we call it putting 10 new people out there. And then from those 10, you're going to have 2 in play, right? So of those 10 that you contacted, really only a couple of them are going to go take a look, 2 or 3 of them take a look at the overview. And from that, you'll typically put in 1 or 2. Now, doing this activity, a couple of things happen. You get better along the way of having the dialogue, of piquing people's interest, of following up with folks, and see, it doesn't matter about the yes or the no or the maybe. It only matters about you doing the activity each day that you're working, okay? And of those people that went and took a look, you're going to PS3. What I mean by that, you've piqued their interest, you showed them something, and now it's time to connect them with someone that's had some success and do a 3-way validation call. Now, this is the activity. Just think about 10 calls in a day. It probably takes you, 10 minutes, 20 minutes to make 10 calls. But if you do this every day and you're following up with this activity, nothing starts to slip between the cracks. Now, this warm market activity that we're talking about This is where the majority of your gold is. This is where the majority of your positive results are going to be. Okay. Now, the cold market is a little bit different. It takes a lot more activity in the cold market to produce the same results that you'll find in the warm market. We can divide the cold market recruiting in a couple of different activities. Okay. The cold market consists of people that you didn't know when you woke up this morning and put your feet on the floor and jumped out of bed. See, the cold market are people that you encounter in your everyday activity that you're doing anyway. Now, as you encounter these people, they typically fall in two separate categories. Now, these categories are called warm chatter. That's where you strike up a conversation, build a rapport, and really, have a conversation with people. Then there's a 3-foot rule where you're in a hurry, they're in a hurry, but you did want to make some sort of exposure. Okay, we're going to talk about those in great detail. Warm chatter is simply this. As you're doing what you're already doing at the convenience store, the gas station, the grocery store, whether you're at the shoe store buying shoes or wherever you are in your daily activity, it's important that you speak to people, smile, and just be nice. You'll find that if you smile and be nice and speak to people, guess what? They'll speak back. If you just pretend that everybody you come across has a sign on their head that says, say something nice to me, pay me a compliment, be nice to me, speak to me, say hello. So here's how a cold market recruiting conversation will start. Good morning. How are you today? See, it's just a regular conversation when you get on the elevator with somebody. How are you today? You look pretty sharp. You ready for a good day? God bless you. Have a good day. Thank you. See, that's just being nice. And spread a little good cheer. Look sharp. Have your hair done. Be in a position where you feel good about yourself. And pay people a compliment. You sure look sharp today. Were you just getting back from vacation? Oh, no, I should. See, that's how I like to kind of plant that to find out if they just got back from vacation or they're in need of a vacation. And people are always willing to tell you about that. Okay. Now, the 3-foot rule is different. Warm chatter is striking up a conversation and building a rapport. The 3-foot rule means you're recognizing that there are some sharp people right there. There's a sharp person right there, but you may or may not have time to really strike up a conversation. So anybody that comes within 3 feet of you that looks like a good candidate that you would be interested in talking with, you may want to hand them something or say something to them where they can call you back. Now, sometime if you're at a restaurant and you see a sharp couple sitting over there at another table and you don't have an opportunity to really strike up a conversation, you might walk up and say, excuse me, you guys look pretty sharp. I don't mean to bother you, but let me leave this on your table here. Maybe you know somebody who would like to have an extra $500 per week. Enjoy your meal. If you like what you see, please give me a call back. I'd love to be a blessing to you or someone you know. And you walk away. You made the exposure. You made the contact. If you do enough of these, pretty soon people start to call you back. Okay. Now, another in the referral market, 2 types. We talked about this. People that you're going to ask for a referral. Now, your referral market is different from your warm market. It's different from your cold market. The referral market are people that you're going to ask if they know anybody who. A referral, like mechanics do and dentists do and attorneys do and accountants do and barbers and hairdressers. The majority of their business come from somebody that's happy with their services and referred them. So we're going to utilize this same concept. Now, sometimes the referral market are people that have already told you that they're not really interested in what you're offering right now, but perhaps they know somebody who. I've talked to people that said, nah, that really doesn't appeal to me. However, I have a cousin who loves this. I know somebody right now that wants to spend more time with their kids and work from home. You'll be surprised at the people who will be able to refer you to someone else, right? Now, there's also a category of people that you're currently giving your business to. People who does your hair, who's your cleaners, and who cleans your pool, who cuts your grass, these people here, since you give them your business, you want to see if they'll be willing to look at their business to see if they can refer you to someone that this could be a good fit to, okay? Now, I want to make sure that you know that people that I'm talking to when I'm in this massive exposure method, these people are people that want to make a difference by creating additional income for their family. I'm not asking people if the product serves them. I'm looking for people that want to make extra money. I'm looking for somebody that would like to have an extra $500 a week. I'm looking for somebody that wants to change their circumstance for them and their family. That's who I'm looking for doing this massive exposure method. Okay. Now, let's also talk about the second category of the referral market. And these are people that are looking for what you have. Imagine that right now, somewhere, there's somebody saying, I sure wish I could find a way to make some money from home. I have some extra time. So we're going to advertise or put it out there for people to call you looking for what you have. Now, the majority of the flyers that I've seen or the advertisements I've seen, they just have too much information on them. Here's what I mean by that. The purpose of a flyer is to make someone call. The purpose of a resume is to get a job interview. So the reason I bring this up is you don't want to put a ton of information on your flyer where they can figure out what this is without calling. I've seen flyers that have all this information on it, travel, wholesale, save money here, look at this, that. There's no reason for them to call. They already know what that's about. So I'm going to go over how I constructed our flyers that have worked for years. It's going to seem simple. It's not fancy. There's no high gloss, beautiful. It's just simple, but it works. Okay. Now we're going to talk more about that in detail. Now, when you print up your flyer, I want you to print it on colored paper. I like to use gold. I also like to use green, any pastel colors that are out there. But you want something that's going to catch the eye of the reader. The goal is to distribute 30 of these flyers each and every day because 1 out of 30 works every time. Now we're going to place them where people have to wait to pay money. Like when you go to your cleaners and you give them the ticket and they go back there and get your cleaners, while you're waiting to pay for your clothes, you look over and there's my flyer. Maybe you go to the gas station, you go out there and you're pumping gas. While you're pumping gas, you look up and there's my flyer. Or maybe you're going to go to the takeout restaurant, Chinese takeout, barbecue, seafood, doesn't matter. And when you place your order, while you're waiting to pay for and get your food, you look over and there's the flyer. So the psychology is you're going to be utilizing these flyers. And I leave every day with 30 flyers. And just in my day-to-day activity, I post it up where people have to wait to pay money. I see people in the 3-foot rule. You look pretty sharp. Let me leave this for you. Maybe you know somebody this can be a blessing to. Please give me a call. Thanks so much and God bless you. Or maybe you're building warm chatter and you're striking up a conversation, paying someone a compliment, piquing their interest. But whenever you take out that flyer and say, have you seen these lately? And you hand it to them, they stop looking at you and they look down at your flyer. And at that time, it's the perfect time for you to say, maybe this can be a blessing for you or somebody you know. We're looking for anybody that wants to make an extra $500 a week from home. Maybe you know somebody like that. Does that sound like you? And then they look up and go, yeah, what's this about? And then from there, you've made the exposure. The door's open for you to point them to something where they can learn more about it. Now, here's a picture of the flyer that I use. Now, you'll notice how simple it is. And I've chose to use things that appeal to everybody. Even though they don't know what this is, it's got enough information where they want to call and find out. And we're getting ready to go over how to handle these types of calls when you get them from the flyer. But notice that the flyer, this particular flyer, is on white paper so that you can see it. But I want you to print it out on colored paper so that it stands out from just a regular white sheet of paper. But my flyer at the top says, travel, have fun, make money. Everybody likes to travel. Everybody likes to have fun. Everybody likes to make money. I want them to know that this is how they can earn from home. I put a picture of a happy family there that I think appeals to everybody. You can use any image you want, but make it a happy family, a family having fun, a family that's happy, that strikes up that mental image. That appeals to a great number of people. Then I put executive income that lets them know that this is all about big money. Flexible hours. You can do it full-time, part-time, anytime, sometime. It all works around their schedules. And then everybody likes to be paid each week. Everybody I know. So I put paid weekly, contact my name and my phone number. Now, a person that looks at this might go, what is this about? I don't know. Well, it says something about traveling and having fun, making money from home. Why don't you call and find out? Okay. Now, let me tell you, the very first time I started using the flyer program and someone called me, I was totally taken by shock. I didn't know what to say, how to answer. So there's a few things that I want to tell you about how to handle the calls that you're going to get from flyers, okay, from advertisements, from social media, from all those, how to handle those calls. Just remember that the person asking the most questions is the person in control of the conversation. I used to think when I was a rookie that whoever was talking the most was in control of the conversation. That's not true. I want you to think of a job interview where the person doing the hiring is asking the majority of the questions and they're in control of the entire conversation. So keep that in mind as I go over the 3 questions that you're going to ask everybody that calls in from a flyer. Now, one more thing I want to mention before we get to the details. The people that call you from the flyers, there's no rapport here built. They don't know you, you don't know them. So what we like to do is when we ask the 3 questions, I'll send them somewhere to take a look at the information, schedule a time to follow up with them, but I don't get heartbroken if they don't answer, if they're no longer there. I just know it's a process. You're going to talk to a bunch of people that call you before you find some serious folks. And then you're going to talk to a few serious folks before you'll find some folks that are ready to join. It is a process. Tell me yes, tell me no, tell me quick. I got to go on to the next person. Okay. So when someone calls you from the advertisement, from the flyers, here's how you're going to handle those calls. Okay. So someone may call you and say, yeah, I saw this advertisement about earning money from home. And I'll say, okay, great, very good. Let me ask you, who am I speaking with? And they'll say, this is Dave. And I'll say, hey, Dave, it's really good to talk with you today. Dave, let me ask you a couple questions as we begin. What was it about the advertisement that you saw that piqued your interest enough to call? This is the $1 million question. They're going to tell you exactly what it is that they want. You're asking this question so you can gain some insight to what is their hot button. What is their real reason for them calling? Let me ask you a question. What was it about the advertisement you saw that piqued your interest enough to call? Well, it says something about earning money from home. Well, sometimes they'll say it says something about executive income, or it says something about traveling and having fun. They're going to tell you what their hot button is. And then whatever they say, you agree. Okay, perfect. Very good. Let me ask you another question. What do you do now for a living? See, I want to know who I'm talking to. Is this a full-time student that doesn't work at all? Is this somebody living in their parents' basement? Is this a school teacher, a salesperson, an attorney, a dentist, a doctor, a stay-at-home mom, a postal worker? I want to know who it is I'm talking to, okay? I found out what their name was. I found out why they called, and I found out what it is they do now for a living, who it is I'm talking to. So when they give me that information, what I'll do then is give them an explanation of what we offer that I know they're not going to fully understand. And then I point them to some information where they can learn on their own. Okay, so when they tell me what they do for a living, I'll say perfect or very good. What we have here, Dave, is a business that anyone can do from the comfort of their own home. It's got completely flexible hours. You can do it whenever you feel like it, whenever you want to, so it doesn't interfere with your current schedule. And what we're looking for is people that would like to make an extra $500 to a couple $1,000s per week. Does that sound like you? If they say no, say fantastic, have a great day, and the call's over. If they say, well, yeah, it could be, then keep on going. If they say, oh, yeah, that sounds great, then you can gauge their level of enthusiasm. Then I say, what I'd like to do is send you a short video, have you look at it, and then I want to find out what you like the most, what appealed to you in that video, and then I'll let me know if you qualify for what we have, we can move to the next step. Does that sound fair enough? And see, that's when I tell them I'm going to send you a video. I want to find out what your feedback is, what you like the most. That'll let me know if you qualify to move to the next step. And then I get their buy-in on that. Does that sound fair enough? And they'll say, oh, yeah, that sounds great. And then I'm just going to either, do you want me to email it to you? You want me to text it to you? And then we just move to that, okay? And then what I do here is you can invite them to a recorded call. I like to use an online video presentation where I just send them the video right there to their phone where they're talking on right now. That's typically what I like to do the most. Sometimes there's a live event that's taking place that night or that day, or a webinar that night that you can send them to. But I do take their number down because you have that in your phone. Is this the number, your cell phone that you're calling from? I've already got your number, Dave. This is my cell phone as well. Well, the information I'm going to send you takes about 20 minutes. When do you think you'll have 20 minutes that you can see this and we can chat and I can see if you qualify to move to the next step? And sometimes they say right now. I can look at it right now. Sometimes I say, well, I get off work at 6 o'clock. I can look at it after that. And so then you just schedule a time to reconnect with them. But you want to do this within about a 24-hour period. If they say, well, Adam, I can look at it and call you back next week, that's not a reasonable prospect for you, because the excitement, the interest level will have died down by then. So you want to try to get them to look at it, follow up with them within about a 24-hour period. Okay, so the key thing to remember here is the 3 questions that you're going to ask someone when they call you from the information of the flyer. Question number 1, who am I speaking to? So you can begin to use their name and build the rapport. Question number 2, what was it about the advertisement that you saw that piqued your interest enough to call? And then listen. They're going to tell you their real hot button, what they're looking for. And then find out what they do for a living so you can gauge the level of prospect that you have on the phone, what it is they do right now. Okay. And from there, you just follow this simple procedure, and that'll lead you up to exposing them where they can learn more. And you set up an appointment time to follow up. During the follow-up time, this is where the rubber meets the road. And this is where it's important for you to have the proper posture, that you want to make sure they're a proper candidate for you and you're not begging them to come aboard with you. Okay. So before calling them back, you want to make some sort of arrangement with the person that you may utilize to direct them to the next step. And that next step that you want to see if they qualify for is to connect them to your support team leader. Now, this could be a person you've got standing by. This could be your upline director, your upline regional, national, whoever it is, doesn't really matter, but just a support team leader, somebody there to help you follow up with them, okay? So if you're going to call them back at 2 o'clock, you may call your director or support team and say, listen, I've got a follow-up call at 2. Do you think you might be available for like 2 o'clock to 2:30? Yeah, in that window of time, I will be available if they qualify. Great. So when you call Dave back, or whoever the prospect is, Dave, this is James. Let me ask you a question. Did you get a chance to see the video that I sent you? I did. Well, tell me, what did you like the most about the information that you've seen in that video? Now, keep in mind, if they say, no, I haven't had a chance to see it, there's no need of going any further in the process until they get a chance. Oh, you haven't seen it. When do you think you'll have 20 minutes? Or do you still have an interest from earning an extra $500 to a couple $1,000s a week from home? In other words, are you still interested in that? Because you didn't even go look at the video, okay? And they'll say, oh, yeah, I'm still interested. Great. Well, let me see the information. Take a look at it again. And then we can see if you qualify to go to the next level and learn a little bit more. Okay, you're in control of the conversation. If they say, yes, I saw the video, great. Tell me, what did you like the most about that you saw? What appealed to you? What made the most sense? And then wait for a moment and really let them answer you. Okay, this is important. You really want to find out. You may even ask subsequent questions. They may say, oh, I love the money part of the presentation, how much a person can earn. Oh, fantastic. How much is it that you're looking to earn just to get started in your first couple of weeks? Whatever it is, you want to ask them a little bit more digging in questions to find out more about what it is they liked. Okay. But once you've kind of done that, then you want to lead them to the next step. And the next step is to connect them with someone who's been extremely successful in working with people like you and helping you to earn the kind of income that you say you want to earn. And then begin to edify the person you're talking to. I want to connect you now to someone that has been a great blessing to so many people and helped them to earn serious income from their home. Now, hold tight. I'm going to connect you to her or him, and then you move them into doing that, okay? Now, when you contact your support team leader, director, whoever it is, you want to say to them before you click over, hey, I've got someone that called from an advertisement on the other line. I'm going to do the introduction. And I'll let you know their hot button. Okay, go ahead. Hey, Tom, I've got Dave on the line. Now, Dave called me from an advertisement. He's a teacher. He's looking to earn some serious income from home, an extra $500 to a couple $1,000s a week. He's had an opportunity to go back and look at the Jet Set Legend Step 3, really likes the money back guarantee and really likes the income that's available. Do you have an opportunity to spend some time with them? Dave, I've got Tom on the line. Tom has been very, very successful at helping people earn the kind of income that you say you want to earn in a very short period of time. Let me just allow the two of you all to get to know each other. Tom, this is Dave. Dave, this is Mr. Tom such and such. And then you step back as the person facilitating the call. Here's what's important. Those two are going to build a rapport. The person that you connected them to, the support team leader, is going to find out what they like the most, find out who they're talking to, find out if they'd like to take the next step to see if this is a fit for them and their family. They'll either be sending them to another video, to a webinar, to some sort of meeting. We can talk and meet in person, to an existing event that's going on. We're going to move them to the next step to get them some more information and collect a decision. Is it yes? Is it no? Is it maybe? Okay. Now, by doing this, utilizing these flyers in your referral market, the 3-foot rule, using them, posting them up where people have to pay, also using them when you're doing warm chatter and connecting with folks and building a rapport. And this is while you're doing what you're doing anyway. While you're going to the grocery store, while you're going shopping for shoes, while you're going over your sister's house, when you go to the convenience store. These are the activities you're doing as you're living your life, okay? But you're also getting up and identifying some time in your schedule that you have to do a business presentation. I can do a business presentation 6 times in a week. It takes about an hour. So Tuesday at this time, Thursday at this time, 2 times on Saturday and 1 time on Monday. These are times I have to do. If you don't have a business presentation at that time, you're spending that time contacting people from your warm market. So by doing shotgun recruiting, you're working your warm market. Tell me yes, tell me no, tell me quick, I gotta go. You're working your cold market. You're meeting people and building a rapport, using your flyer. You're working the cold market in 3-foot rule. Is it you? Is it you? Is it you? Here, I could be a blessing to you. Maybe you know somebody. Excuse me, pay them a compliment. All those things I just talked about. Posting it up where people have to pay. And by posting it up where people have to pay, now you've got people calling you looking for what you have and utilizing what you've learned in this webinar to handle those calls from those advertisements. This is how you get your 30 exposures a day. You're not tied into the yes, tied to the no, or the maybe. You are keying in on the activity that's going to produce the number of exposures, because the worst line ever works 1 out of 30 times. Most people are doing the right thing, just not doing enough of it. So if you'll increase your activity of exposures in your warm market, increase the activity of exposures in your cold market with your warm chatter, with your 3-foot rule, utilizing your referral program, asking people that you know if they know anybody who this could benefit from, if people that you give your business to, if they can take a look to see if they know somebody, people that call you from the flyers, if you do these activities every day, 5 days a week, folks, you will change the complexion of your business dramatically. You don't have to do this for a long time. You do this type of massive exposure as we're leading up to the convention, as we're in the 90-day blitz. And if you can do it for 12 to 18 months, it's not a matter of if you receive the big money and hit the big time. It's just a matter of when. And remember one more thing as we wrap up this webinar, folks, and that is you want to make sure that you follow the information you've been hearing today, and that you have different people set up as backups in case your director's not there, the call doesn't go through, you got somebody else you can call. But the main thing that I want you to remember as you're doing shotgun recruiting, as you're doing massive exposure, the main thing to remember is have fun. Have a good time. Take the pressure off. Tell yourself, I don't care whether they say yes, no, or maybe, I'm just going to talk to a whole bunch of people. Somebody this is going to appeal to. This is going to be a blessing to somebody. And if you're having fun, they're watching your posture. They're watching the smile and the enthusiasm, the magnetism that you have as you're exposing your business. You're being a little bit prestigious about who you're looking for. And I tell people, I'm only looking for a handful of people that I can work with and really help them create some substantial success. Let's see if that's you. Let's see if you fit that category. You know what I mean? So have fun. I certainly have enjoyed sharing these principles of shotgun recruiting to you. I want to encourage you as you embark on this level of exposure, level of activity, that you include your upline director, your support team leader, that you're going to be acting in a mode of massive action. And if they could stand by to support you in three-way callings and support. So one thing about us is we as support team leaders, we're looking for people who are calling with the three ways. We can tell people who are doing the action. We can tell people who've got something in the pipeline. They got people they're talking to, folks they grew up with, somebody they just met, somebody that called from an advertisement. You can tell the people that are out here getting it done. These are the people we put at the highest level of respect because they're out there paving a way for their families. They're making a difference. They're becoming the champion that deserves to step into that kind of lifestyle that others dream of. You've heard it said, certain people are willing to do what others won't do so they can have what others don't have. So if you're ready to step up and go to the next level, we've opened the door. We've paved the way. We've shown you the activities to step in your warm, cold, and referral market for you to have massive results. Thanks so much for joining us. I hope each and every one of you employ what you've heard today and take your family to the next level. On behalf of everyone that sent you to see this powerful webinar, congratulations on the success that you're already having just by learning the materials that you've learned in this coaching session. I want to end by saying that the harvest is plenty, abundance is your birthright, and greatness is your destiny. God bless you all. We'll talk again soon. Until next time, folks.